Would you forgive your best friend for sleeping with your husband? I caught my best friend and my husband sleeping together exactly 3 weeks after my wedding, but here is the twist minus I actually thanked her for it. Let me explain. Mia and I had been friends since we were 7. When I met Jake 2 years ago, she was genuinely happy for me. She helped plan our entire wedding, stayed up late, addressing invitations, and even paid for my dream veil when it wasn't in my budget. So when I came home early from a business trip and heard noises from our bedroom, my world collapsed. I stood frozen in the hallway, my suitcase still in hand, as I heard my husband's voice, mixed with one I'd recognize anywhere. I didn't scream, I didn't burst in. I just quietly closed the front door and drove to a hotel the next morning. My phone exploded with messages. Jake was panicking, claiming it was a terrible mistake. Tessa sent a voice message so filled with tears I could barely understand her. I ignored them both and spent the day walking through the city, feeling strangely calm. That's when I realized something that should have terrified me actually felt like relief. The truth is, I'd been having doubts about Jake for months. Little red flags I'd ignored because everyone said we were perfect together. How he always checked my location. How he'd make subtle comments about my weight. How he'd pulled me away from my other friends one by one. Maya had seen it too. Are you sure about him? She'd asked once. I dismissed her concerns as jealousy. 3 days later, I finally met Ayest at a coffee shop. She couldn't look me in the eye. I didn't plan it, she whispered, but I am not going to lie. Part of me wanted to show you who he really is before it was too late. She slid her phone across the table. Private messages from Jake, dating back months before our wedding. Things he'd said about me, plans to isolate me from my family after we were married, his real financial situation, not what he'd told me. I couldn't find a way to tell you, she said, so I made a terrible choice to show you instead. I filed for annulment the next day. Jake didn't contest it. Sometimes the most painful betrayals can actually be twisted acts of love, and sometimes the people who hurt us most are also the ones saving us from something worse. Maya and I are slowly rebuilding our friendship. It's complicated, but I am grateful that she sacrificed our friendship to save me from a life with him.